I'm Mark Silverthorn. I hope you enjoyed this video. Today we're going to talk about 3 different options for settling your debts. Sometimes your creditor will be willing to accept a one-time lump sum payment for substantially less than your current outstanding balance as settlement in full. Now, your creditor is not going to consider a settlement offer from you until such time that you have not made a payment on your account for a minimum of 6 months. It's important to appreciate that your creditor is under no legal obligation to consider a settlement offer from you. Obtaining a settlement is a matter of negotiation. You are going to have to make a decision in terms of who is going to negotiate a settlement on your behalf. And you have 3 options. You can do it yourself. You can hire a debt coach, or you can hire a debt settlement firm. And there are disadvantages and advantages of each of these 3 options. It is possible for you to negotiate a settlement with your creditor or with your creditor's authorized collection agent. And the major advantage of negotiating a settlement on your own is the cost. It does not cost you anything to negotiate a settlement on your behalf. Now, there are a number of disadvantages of settling a debt on your own. In terms of disadvantages, the major disadvantage of negotiating a settlement on your own is you might get a poor result. And this is particularly the case the higher the dollar amount of your debt. If you were to hire a debt coach or a debt settlement firm, they may get a much better result than what you could negotiate on your own. Another disadvantage of negotiating a settlement on your own is that you might inadvertently restart the clock on your limitation period and prejudice yourself. And finally, in some instances, it can be very complicated in terms of who actually owns your debt and which firm you would be negotiating with in terms of finding the individual that you're going to have to speak to or communicate with in terms of negotiating your debt. It is possible to hire a reputable debt coach to assist you in obtaining a favorable settlement. And that's one of the services that I offer at Debt Coach Silverthorn. And my experience is based on, as a consumer lawyer, negotiating hundreds of favorable settlements on behalf of Canadians across Canada. One of the advantages of hiring a debt coach is that it's relatively inexpensive, and you're able to take advantage of the experience of the debt coach. Now, the disadvantage of hiring a debt coach is that the debt coach is not going to be able to communicate directly with your creditor or your creditor's collection agent. It's going to be your responsibility to do that. Now, if you don't like negotiating, if you don't like speaking on the phone with the creditor or the creditor's collection agent, you can simply have your debt coach draft emails that you send to the other side, and you can essentially negotiate by emails so that it's possible to negotiate a settlement where you virtually have no telephone contact with the person you're will be negotiating with. You can also hire a debt settlement firm to negotiate on your behalf. And there are two types of debt settlement firms. There are law firms that do debt settlement, and then there are firms that are licensed in your province as debt settlement firms that do debt settlement. In terms of the advantages of hiring a debt settlement firm, it's one-stop shopping. The debt settlement firm will do all the negotiations with your creditor, and they should be able to get a better result than you can because of their experience. There are, however, a number of disadvantages of hiring a debt settlement firm. And the most important disadvantage is the cost. It can be quite expensive to hire a debt settlement firm. And secondly, some creditors refuse to negotiate with debt settlement firms. The creditor may take the position that if you can hire a debt settlement firm, then you can afford to pay their bill. And some creditors are very aggressive when it comes to people who hire debt settlement firms, and they may actually sue you simply because you have hired a debt settlement firm. In conclusion, if you hire a debt settlement firm, you run the risk of incurring a significant expense without obtaining a settlement. I hope that this video has provided you with some insights in terms of who can negotiate a settlement on your behalf. Hi, I'm Mark from Debt Coach Silverthorn, and we'd like to get your feedback in terms of what some of our future YouTube topics should be. Draw from your pain and your own experience and let us know. I mean, for example, how to stop collection calls, or the top 10 tactics for protecting your assets and income from your creditors. But please let us know what kind of topics you would like us to cover in some of our upcoming YouTube videos. Thanks.